Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. Week 29 of the weekly challenges is here today, and it's time for the Honda CBR 600RR here in Donington Park in the wet. So the aim of today's video is to give you a couple of pointers and a little bit of a guide on how to get the target time of 1:38.7 and get underneath that, of course, so you can get the gold time trial and get yourself some plenty of points and credits to use on upgrading your motorcycles. But for the time being, going in the left hand side for the craner curves, nice and tight to the apex, and we'll begin to bring on the brakes, just gently going into the fourth corner of the old hairpin. Bring in the motorcycle to the right hand side here and then swing it to the left. Don't go on the rumble strip there because it has a little bit of a dip that when you get into that dip it will throw you off. So going into turn 6, bring on the brakes as you sort of move and angle the motorcycle to the right hand side for turn 7 and McLean's. You'll also notice in the bottom right hand corner of your screen there is the brake gauge, and that'll give you an indication of how hard I'm braking in some of those corners. So going into turn 7 a moment ago, as we turn the motorcycle from the left to the right, I only held the front brake about halfway, not actually pulling the whole left trigger, but just pulling it about halfway. Now into the hard braking zones for the S's, really firm on the brakes. You'll see in the bottom right hand corner a lot of front brake, pretty much full front brake, and a lot of rear brake applied as well. Be careful on Ride 4, when you do hold the rear brake, the bike really locks up the rear, so do be careful and maybe just press it until it locks and then release and then press it once again. So going into the Melbourne hairpin, nice tight apex somewhat. As you come out of the corner there, it's wise to go a wider line instead of going for an abrupt straight line, because when that happens you tend to wheelie. So if you go for a wider line coming on the exit and coming out of the corner, you do find that's a little bit better for the acceleration. Now across the line, this is going to be good enough for a target time of 1:38.7. Our lap time is actually a 1:34.736. So hard on the brakes we go for turn 1. I made a little bit of a mistake here, I went a little bit too wide, and therefore I'm going to get caught up on the rumble strip ever so slightly, but you'll still see that it's more enough time just to keep up with our previous Ghost anyway. So on the right hand side, holding that acceleration to flick it to the left hand side for the craner curves, and then we'll bring on to the brakes as we go into the right hand, and just as that rumble strip sort of materialises, you want to be braking a little bit before then. Same thing to be said again, moving to the left hand side for turn 5, and then the left hand again for turn 6, and then continue to hold it in and then just gently bring on the brakes. You'll see in the bottom right corner of your screen there again, going into McLean's, a little bit of a brake was applied. So go into Coppice now, bring on the brakes as you get into the rumble strip. Just as your bike gets level with the start of the rumble strip, bring on the brakes and just make sure that the bum is going into the back of the seat. So you can do that by pushing the left analog stick down, keep your weight into the back of the tyres and not to the front of the tyres, therefore you won't crash. Same can be said for this corner as well. Make sure you're moving and positioning the rider's weight properly, so he's pushing all the weight into the back tyre and then hitting the brakes going into the S's. Now this left-hander, you want to be braking just well before the rumble strip materialises on the left-hand side, because of course you can't actually see it going over the rise. So as you go over the rise in a very minor crest, if you will, begin to start braking at that point. You'll see, of course, 3 laps in this video. I'm going to give you a pointer on how to get that correctly done. But going into Goddard's for turn 12, nice and tight there. We'll bring on the power, use the wide exit of the corner going near the rumble strip on the outside, and this is going to be another successful lap. So hard on the brakes we'll go for turn 1, just at the end of pit lane straight there. We'll bring the brakes on for Redgate, nice and tight apex. Then bring on the power, go close to the rumble strip. You can use the rumble strip, but it does get a little bit bouncy, so I'd probably advise just going a little bit before it. And then, of course, to the left-hand side now for the craner curves. Wonderful smooth acceleration going into that corner. Then bring on the brakes for a nice and tight apex with the old hairpin. Same could be said for the previous 2 laps. Swing it over to the right, then bring it into the left. Very close to the rumble strip there, but do be careful. You've seen the rider sort of just jump up a little bit. Try and avoid that if you can. So hard on the brakes now for turn 7 for McLean's. Not getting it quite right. Also downshifted a bit too early there, and you've seen the bike sort of jump a little bit. Try and avoid that if you can as we go into Coppice now for turn 8. Up by 0.3 of a second, so this could be a 1:33 lap coming in a moment's time. But for the time being, the only thing I'm really concerned about is trying to get you guys to understand and to learn how to get a 1:38.7 here in this wonderful British track. It's not a difficult track, so you guys should be fine with it, but if you do have any issues, let me know in the comments section down below. Now, the same thing I said as earlier, look for this crest, look as it just sort of bottoms out, bring on the brakes there. I've braked pretty much exactly the same spot for 3 times in a row. Nice and tight to the apex for the Melbourne hairpin. Bring on the power going wide, and now feast your eyes on the right hand side of your screen there. There's going to be a little patch of different track there. It's going to be sort of an entryway for the barriers. When you see that bit of tarmac separating the rumble strip on the right and then the next part of the grass, that is where you're going to hit the brakes, and that usually works pretty much every time going into Goddard's. So that's the end of the 3 laps I'm going to give you here today. I hope that's been enough. Let me know in the comment section down below if you do have any issues or not quite grasping how to tackle Donington Park in the wet, and I'm sure I'll be able to help you out. But upon that note, guys, I hope this video has been helpful. Unfortunately, I'm only good enough for 5th for the time being on my 3 laps done, but I'm still happy with that nonetheless. But guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know in the comments section down below, and let me know if it's helped you as well, because that's very, very important to me. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching as always. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload and live stream, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and ciao for now. Oh, hi! Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.